Well, hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the cost of this solar system. So, I finally sat down and gathered all the numbers of the money spent over the last 2 years, more than 2 years actually. I started my project in July of 2019, and finally by end of March of 2021, the system was finally operating and producing power. Now, the place where I started my solar system and the place where I live right now are totally two different places. But all of you who have been watching my channel, you know that I had HOA drama with the solar system, and on the end, I finally decided just to move on and not to live in HOA subdivision. Uh, so enough of that. Now let's start discussing as to how much everything cost. Now, as we are going through here, I'm going to have pictures on of each component of the system, and then we're going to go and delve into the spreadsheet that I made that recorded all the cost of this system. Um, so let's start with Powerwall cost. There will be that the Powerwall is the biggest expense in this system. It roughly equates to 34.34% of the overall system cost. Now, I started buying cells in July. I had the first shipment delivery of 32 cells in July of 2019. I started experimenting and seeing how all of this would work and how the cells behaving, especially lithium iron phosphate cells that I never had any experience with. And that was the first shipment of 32 cells. A little bit later, in September, end of September, I had the delivery of additional 16 cells. So the first 48 cells and the first Powerwall that I built in and around the end of October and November of 2019, it cost me $4,491. If right now you're looking at this spreadsheet, that's all the parts and the equipment that went into building this first Powerwall. So the first Powerwall, $4,491.93. I tested everything that I could think of, and you can go through my videos and see what I was testing with that first Powerwall. So after that, maybe end of November, I have ordered additional 100 cells. Those got delivered at the end of January, and I think maybe beginning of February, those cells were delivered. However, those cells were considerably cheaper, and it was cheaper to ship them too. So the cost of Powerwall number 2 and Powerwall number 3 was $153.64, as you can see on the spreadsheet, and same price for the Powerwall number 3 because I used all of the same exact parts on a Powerwall number 2 and number 3. There are some minor differences between the Powerwall number 1. So that is a cost of my Powerwall system. Roughly, I have around 55.2 kilowatt hours worth of storage. So the total cost of all three Powerwalls was $10,799.21, or 34.34% of overall system cost. So having the total amount of storage at 53 kilowatt hours usable, or 55.2 total, it comes out about $195.63 per kilowatt hours. That includes everything, guys. That includes cost of the cells, which is majority of it, includes shipping, includes all the other parts in the Powerwalls, and includes all the applicable taxes that I paid on these additional parts. Okay, so the next part of the system we are moving on to, and it will be on the screen right now, is cost of the solar panels. So the solar panels, I had a total of 48. Total cost of panels was $6,108, or 19.42% of overall cost of the system. Now the first 30 panels I ordered, and I had to go to Texas to pick them up, and there was 30 panels at 300 watt each. Those solar home panels were $3,600. That include taxes, because I had to go to Texas to pick them up. Now, additional 12 and additional 6 panels were purchased in February and March, respectively, of 2021, and those were Longi solar panels, 320 watt each times 12 panels, and Trina Solar, 325 watt each times 6. So the Longis were $1,500 for 12, and Trina Solar were $1,000 for the 6 of them. Now, I'm pretty sure you can get these panels cheaper, or maybe buy used panels. However, here in the state of Georgia, I don't have a local warehouse where I can go and pick up panels. At least not the one that I found that is a normal distance. Now, we have a Q-Cell factory, which is kind of a couple hours northwest from here. But, you know, it's not like in some parts of the country where you can just go down, maybe in California, you can go down to some warehouse and pick a bunch of panels. Over here in the state of Georgia, that does not really happen, at least not for me. Post in the comments if you have better experience from people around Georgia. I even tried one over here locally, and then he called me like 10 days later telling me that he can get me something. So, okay, now let's move on to what I think is, at least for me, and most unnecessarily expensive piece of this whole system, and that would be a ground mount solar array. The total cost of this was $6,879.48. Now you guys got to understand that you can probably do something cheaper than this. Now, since I did everything by myself, right? I did everything by myself, some cost will go higher, okay? Iron ridge racking system was $2,985. Ground screw system was $1,772.08, and the Schedule 40 3-inch steel pipe was $2,122.40, as you can see here on the screen. Could have, as I said, could have this been done any cheaper? Yes, maybe if you can mount them on your roof. If you don't need the roof replaced, if it's maybe 2, 3, 4 years old, you can install it and be happy with it, and you will save a bunch of money on the cost of the solar system. However, my roof is not suitable for it. I don't have enough place on the roof to install them. There are smaller pieces of roof that I maybe possibly could expand my solar array in the future, but that's nor here nor there, depending if I need it. As you have seen previously on my channel, I'm using MPP Solar LV6548s, and I have 4 of them. Total amount cost for all 4 is $4,480, which is 14.25% of overall cost of this system. Now, the next thing that necessarily was needed, but I wanted it to be this way, was a transfer switch. The cost of a 3-phase transfer switch at 200 amps, it was made by Siemens, is $1,478. That's 4.7% of the overall cost. Now, all the conduits, all the wires, breakers, switches, ground rods, breaker panels, actually 2 new ones, and the wireways did cost around $1,700. Now, the most surprising thing about the wireways, they were cheap. The indoor wireway, the 8-foot by, I think that one is 8-inch. 8 feet long, 8 inches deep, and 8 inches tall, was like 60 or $80 or something like that. I think it's $80, and the small one outside was 40 or 50. So the overall total cost for that was $1,700. The most expensive part of this was number 8 wire that runs from the house down to the solar panels. That wire was, I think, the wire cost me around $900, including tax, that I had to spend on it. And you gotta remember this. I'm not a business where I can go and buy this wholesale and pay a smaller price. So I did pay premium price, even though I saved the Home Depot coupon to get $150 off if you spend like $750 or something like that. So I did use that. So that did save me some money. So $1,700 for the miscellaneous part. Now the total cost of the system, including all the parts, all the shipping, and all the taxes, was $31,444.69. So the overall cost of the system was $31,444.69. Now, did I miss anything over here? Maybe I did, but I think roughly this is what it comes up to. Now, this is parts only. I do not know how much would some company charge in labor just to do the system that I did. Now, if you know, post in the comments. Let's see what you have to say, because I don't know how would I calculate this. So I'm going to talk to my CPA and see if we can apply 26% federal tax credit to the parts spent at least. I don't know about the labor though. So if, let's say, my CPA gives me okay that I can claim a 26% federal tax credit, then the overall cost of the system will be $23,269.07. That brings us to a cost per watt of this system before and after the federal tax credit. So my system is 14,790 watts. The cost per 1 watt before federal tax credit is $2.13. Now you gotta understand, this does not include labor that would cost to install this if you hire somebody. And the cost per 1 watt after federal tax credit is $1.58 per watt. So other miscellaneous parts that were used for this system and were not included into that $34,444 price tag was a trencher. I did not include it in there. I kind of forgot, and I just didn't want to calculate everything. But the trencher for 1 day was $303 to lay a trench from the side of the house all the way over there to the solar panels and a combined box. So $303 is probably going to be what, around 0.9% of the overall cost of the system. And then additional money that I spent on this, and it was not needed, so you can't really calculate towards the cost of the system, because I just did it because I wanted it to look nice and, you know, not have a grass growing underneath it, is a skid loader at $398 from a local Home Depot. And I think it was 15 tons of gravel, 3/4 inch gravel, that's what they call it, crushed Georgia granite, was $600. Now we are coming to the part of this discussion where we are going to be talking about how long it's going to take to pay this system off. So we will calculate cost of how much is to drive a car and how much I spend on electricity during 1 year. Now, since 2000, the smallest engine that I had was a 6-cylinder, and it was a Mazda Millennia supercharged. But it was a still 6-cylinder engine. It was very powerful for its time, and it burned a lot of gas. So for the last 21 years, I've been driving nothing but the gas guzzlers. I have drove everything from Mazda Millennia to Nissan Altima 3.5 liter, to Mercedes-Benz 5 liter ML500, to Infiniti M35, to Ford Expedition, to Ford Explorer Sport that I drive right now. So I'm going to calculate this with the Ford Explorer, which is comparable to amount of power that the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the current electric vehicle that I have, has. Okay, so the Ford Explorer is 300 bone stock, 365 horsepower out of factory. If I'm driving that car 12,000 miles a year, and my average gas mileage per gallon is 14.9 miles, and I do not drive on a freeway. Majority of my driving is a local roads. I work as a real estate agent, and I also work and help build homes and whatnot. So majority of my stuff is driving local, driving on, going to various construction sites and whatnot. So the mileage comes up to 14.9 miles a gallon. So 12,000 miles and 14.9 miles per gallon, it cost me about 805 gallons per year to drive Ford Mustang Mach-E. At $3 a gallon at current prices, and I only put premium, so I paid $3.50, but I'm using conservative cost of $3 per gallon, will be $2,416.11 to drive my car, the Ford Explorer per year. Now, if you take a Ford Mustang Mach-E, which is 346 horsepower electric motors, and I drive that 12,000 miles per year, it will require 4,000 kilowatt hours per year. Roughly, I will get 3 miles per kilowatt hour. So 12,000 divided by 3 ends up being 4,000 kilowatt hours per year. Mileage per kilowatt hour right now, what I get out of it is about 3.5 to 3.7 because the weather is still warm, and then that amount per kilowatt hour will go down once the weather gets cold. That's just the nature of electric vehicles, and there's nothing you can do about it. So roughly for the whole year, it'll be like 3 miles per kilowatt hour. I believe that my solar system can supplement at least 50% of those 4,000 kilowatt hours required to drive this car for 1 year. So another 2,000 kilowatt hours per year I will have to purchase from Georgia Power. Right now, at this moment, and we're talking October 2021, it is 10.5 cents per kilowatt hour at Georgia Power. So 10.5 cents per kilowatt hours times 2,000 kilowatt hours comes up to $210 per year. In Georgia, Georgia Power charges 21.6% tax on your power bill. That includes nuclear build-out cost, fuel recovery cost, transmission cost, and sales tax, and whatever you name it. It always comes up to about 21.6% of your overall power bill. So 210 times 21.6% is $255.36 that I will have to pay in energy cost to drive Ford Mustang Mach-E. The savings that go towards calculating how fast you will pay off this system is $2,416.11 minus $255.36 for the power that I pay on the car. Total number we come up with is $2,160.75. Watching these numbers that I collect, you see me collect these numbers, and I like to collect them. Rough estimate for the amount of energy spent by house is about 1 megawatt or 1,000 kilowatt hours per month, which comes up to about 12,000 kilowatt hours per year. That would roughly cost me $1,532.16 per year in power needs. So if we take a 2160.75 plus 1532 plus 16, that would the total savings per year would be $3,692.91. Now we take $3,692.91 and we divide that by a total amount of cost for the solar system. Let's calculate it both ways, with or without tax credit. Without tax credit, it would take about 8.5 years to pay off this system. With the tax credit, it will say it takes 6.3 years. I believe that during the next 5 years, these numbers will go down. I might be able to pay this off in 4 or 5 years if the cost of energy keeps rising as it is right now at the end of October 2021. So 6.3 years without with tax credit and 8.5 years without tax credit. I hope that this little 25-minute video on the amount of money spent help you some of you calculate the cost of the solar system, or if this is something that you want to do. This was very expensive, but this is one of the things that I always wanted to do. Some of my friends went and bought the expensive cars as their midlife crisis. Some of them went and bought the boats. I think maybe my midlife crisis was getting this done while I'm still alive and I'm not old and can't do it by myself. So at least I have some kind of a return that comes out of all of this. And of course the enjoyment. My friends do enjoy their cars and they do enjoy their boats. But I think compared to the solar system does return you, give you something in return. And it might even make you some money if you stay with it a long time, let's say 10, 15 years. Am I ever going to change anything in this solar system? I think I will. I just don't know when. Right now it's working the way I want it. Was it expensive? Yes, but this is something I wanted to do. My family supported me, especially my wife. She was all for it. She was actually out helping me numerous times, but majority of work was performed by me. So I don't know how would you calculate the labor on something like this. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on this Sunday night. I hope you all have a good and wonderful next week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.